morning from me here live in Sydney. I'm your host, Michelle J. Raymond, and welcome everybody to the Good for Business show, where I get to talk about my favorite topic and what you all know and love me for, and that's LinkedIn company pages. So shout out to all of those smart cookies who decided to click attend and catch up on all the latest updates because, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to remember them all. So if I skip something, don't worry, I've got you covered with lots of posts and content coming up. So do let me know who's joining live. This is an interactive show. This isn't where I want to listen to my own voice. It's not my favorite. So I'd rather hear all of your questions. Today's session is Q&A style. Ask me anything. I had a great session with Mary Fane Brand. I can see that you're joining me today. Mary's mind was blown when I told her all about the new features and the way that she could use company pages to actually lift up personal brands, lift up her company. And that's why I love company pages. So we are going to get it out there, people. Now, it's not cool. We don't get reach on company pages. I can assure you, I am begging the Pages team. So if any of them are joining us today, I am saying, please help us with reach. Just a little bit would be cool. So I can see that we've got Karen Maloney's joining us. It is so awesome that you can join us live from Australia. I can see that I've got some night owls that have joined from one side of the world, and I've got those that are probably dodging the school run, getting dinner ready in the US. So it's so cool to have everyone here. I love it. Paulie, so cool. Nancy Lee. Phone bill, it's a shout out to you as well. So I am going to get into what you all came here for. What's going on with company pages? Well, I can tell you a lot. Even my head is spinning. So I got some questions that some people popped in, and I'm going to use that to drive the conversation today. So thank you to anyone that jumped in earlier, and for anyone that goes, oh, I wish I'd always been able to ask Michelle that. Now is your chance. I'm going to do my best to keep up with all of the comments. You are going to see me do this. And what that means is, oh my God, all the comments are coming through on the live. So keep them coming. I just love to get everybody involved. Let's start with the first one. We're on a LinkedIn live event. They are getting pushed well and truly by the company pages team. But Lynette Johnson had a question, which is what's going on with the comments after I do my LinkedIn live? So if you've never gone live from your company page, let's go back a step. I want you to know why I go live on my company page, which has just under 2,000 followers. So thank you to everyone that's following, versus my personal page, which has around 8,000. And this is what I discussed yesterday with Mary. The reason that I do it is there is nothing worse than when I have an amazing live with lots of people coming on board like this, and then 5 seconds later, disappears down the feed, never to be seen again. Honestly, makes me cry. On my company page, go over. If you haven't had a look, you have your own mini YouTube channel sitting over on your company page. The videos tab, it is my favorite. So after this live finishes, what's going to happen is this video will sit on the video tab. So for those people that want to catch it on the replay today, 3 months time, 6 months time, 12 months time, I can always send them back. So if I've got a question that people often ask me, guess what? I'm going to tag you over in that video so that you can catch up and watch. It really makes my life as a solopreneur a bit easier to get out there and obviously help more people. And, you know, people are at all different stages of the journey. So some are just starting. Shout out to all of those people. Keep on going. LinkedIn Lives are reasonably new in the big scheme of the world. And what we're seeing is actually lots of updates coming through. Now, one of the problems is after I go live and it sits on my video tab and I get to see all of your amazing comments, guess what? On desktop, they disappear. And that's what Linnaeus talking about. Now, when they disappear, it is really annoying because you can't go back and say, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it, Katie. I really appreciate it, David Hills. Thanks for coming. You can't see it on desktop. Now, Lynette, the bad news for you is right now, the Pages team know that it's a problem. The upside, you're going to have to pull out your mobile. It still works okay on there, but it's actually just a problem on desktop. It's not a problem that will be fixed tomorrow. It may take some time, so grab your mobile and work around on that side of things. A quick question just while we're on this topic, because Mary's asking, can you create a recurring event on your company page? Oh man, this would be amazing if we could do this. The unfortunate part is not as yet, but I feel like if we just keep raising it enough times with the pages team, we often give feedback to them. So if you've got an idea and you'd like it, let me know and I can pass that on. They listen. They're really, honestly, I can't tell you how much they value the input and are really trying to make sure that this product not just works for LinkedIn, but works for small business owners, solopreneurs, and also multinational companies. Companies of all sizes can get value out of company pages. So, Linaire, I hope that helps. If anybody doesn't know Linaire Johnston and isn't already connected with her, if I get this right, Business Gold. That's the book that we wrote together. If you don't know how to get started on LinkedIn company pages, I've got a copy here too. And the best question today gets a signed copy if you haven't already bought one. But basically what happens is it's 2 hours to read. It's a beginning to end 2 hours, like no fluff, no messing around, just how to get you started. And at the end of every chapter, we've given you gold nuggets. So you can actually literally just read the gold nuggets and check to make sure that you've got your understanding and that's your action plan. Like it couldn't get any easier. So we're going to pop that link into the chat so that if you haven't got a copy, then please go and grab one. It's not, I think it's about $20 Australian, which for those in the US and overseas, you're going to laugh when you see the price in your currency. So thanks, Linaire, for your question. That is awesome. And I can see Renee, I appreciate you coming in. So what if you've got a small following on your company page? Not that uncommon, Renee, and thanks for your question as well. So the truth is that it can be hard and slow to build a company page. But I'm going to tell you that what I've noticed in my own page, I'm going to be honest, right? I'm the expert on this. And over time, I've gotten a bit more comfortable with that. And I used to think, why can't I make this grow faster? Even I was like, oh man, am I doing the right thing here? What I discovered was it's like a snowball that gathers momentum down the hill. But that first bit, it's hard. And I'm not going to lie to people. It's going to take you, 6 to 9 months on average. Your target follower audience around 500. So we're not aiming for 10,000. We're not aiming for 20,000. For most businesses, a niche community of around 500 is a really good number. And I've got lots of videos on my YouTube channel that will actually teach you how to use the invite filters so that you can maximize those returns. Now, I get another exciting tip, which is hot off the press. And for those of you who are joining today, I literally have not told anyone else. I just got the response from the Pages team as I woke up this morning. Cool thing. Pages team want your page to grow faster. If you have employees, one of the ways that we want to work together, employee advocacy, shout out to Danielle Guzman. We had an amazing show a couple of weeks back where we discussed how do you get your team on board. LinkedIn are going to make it easier to let your team start doing invites. Now, how does this work? I'll go back a step. Every month, a page administrator who's assigned to the page admin actually gets to invite 100 invites to 100 of their first degree connections. Now, this can get tiresome. And if you've only got a small number of connections and you're not really actively involved in the industry, you're just, the social media manager or the person that got dumped with the page in the background, shout out to anyone that happened to. What can actually happen is you can very quickly burn through your 100, invites every month, can burn through your first degree connections. So here's what's going to happen. Your only other alternative up until today is that you would have to go and make someone else a temporary page admin. They would do the invites and then you would go back again and have to remove them because, it might be someone from the sales team. It might be the CEO. It might be, anyone in the team, another marketing person. but they don't want to be page admin. You don't want to have them have control. So here's how it works. Every employee gets 30 invite credits per month. Okay. They don't need to be page admins. Yes. So if you've got a small team, we're going to be able to use this. So where you only had 100, imagine now you've got 30 for extra invites for all of your employees without the hassle of making them super admins. Now, I just found out the cool part is these are additional credits. These aren't part of your 100, they're an additional 30. So if you can get your team together, guess what? You're going to grow faster. For those that are solopreneurs, just set your expectations. Slow and steady is going to win the race over time. On average, pages grow roughly 60 to 80, on average, followers per month. So just to set your expectations somewhere, there's no rush. If you own a business, it's going to go on for a long time. And a shout out to the wonderful Brenda Meller. Thank you for joining me. If you aren't following or connected to Brenda Meller as yet, she is my partner in crime when it comes to all things company pages. We love bouncing ideas off each other, and she's another great knowledge source. So thanks for joining today, Brenda. I always love it. So what else can we do? We've got some other questions that are coming in on here. So the next question actually came through from Cara, who may or may not be joining us because it's way past her bedtime, I believe. So if you've got a product that you want to promote, should and how can you feature it on your company page? And is it better to have a page of its own? Here's where it's never a one size fits all. I feel like I'm one of those like insurance statements or finance statements. There's no one size fits all products. You have to check your own circumstances. Here's what I would say. Small business owners, if you don't have a team and you're a solopreneur, manage the product just through the company page. You have other options under company pages called showcase pages, which are great for those that have got different brands or different geographies that they want to separate out because, a multinational company, for instance, and different brands and different locations have different kind of audiences. It works because they've got enough teams to manage all of those resources. Small businesses, it comes down to timing. You're going to have to build a whole new audience. And we just said how hard it was, right? So given the resources, this is like one of those things. Now, I'm just going to show people something, and hopefully I get this right. When we come in here and we go into the page admin view of a company page, and if you're not following Good Trading Co., come on, let's make sure that we fix that up. What's going to happen is we have what's called, as I said, showcase pages. For those of you who haven't seen how it works, they sit over here on the right-hand side, and there I am going live. They sit over here. So I've created one recently for my podcast. Now, I'm just going to go back to the admin view because I want to show something which is a new feature, which is product pages. Now, I only just realized in the last couple of days that I have product pages available to me now. So they were historically only for digital sales products. Software as a service type products that we had out there. Now, I love product pages layout. If you haven't seen one, it really looks like the service pages that are over there on profiles. I tried to set one up because, hey, I love trying new things. Brenda will attest to that. And I tried to set one up for, say, my LinkedIn masterclass training that I offer. I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could highlight that, show who the product's intended for, set up some media, have a play around. I found it was really clunky. It didn't quite fit for what I was doing. It was still designed more for products that you could download or something along those lines, as opposed to face-to-face training. The process itself was a little bit clunky when I was actually trying to update it. And you can see here that we've got these couple of options, and you can start to put some screenshots of your product. I've just put a couple in there that I've playing around with. One of the issues that I found, and it happened when I set one up for one of my clients, is after you finish the setup, you actually have to go through an approval process. Now, the approval process can take up to 2 weeks, it says. Now, okay, that's fine. It's new. We're rolling out. I have no problems. The problem that I had is after the process was approved, I didn't get a notification that I noticed on the page. And so it had been approved and was just sitting there for my client. And I went back and I was like, yeah, it's been a while since that's happened. And so I had to go back and double check. And so then I had to press publish. So it's created, get it approved, and then go back and publish. And so that to me was a bit tricky. I will continue to play around with it. One of the things that came unstuck was there were some industry groups that you had to select from, and none of those applied to any kind of training face to face. And I mean, I went pretty broad and pretty general. They would still seem to be tied back to those digital products in those other areas. So to answer your question, Cara, I would manage it if you're a small business just through your content on your company page. If you're a much bigger business and a product page makes sense, then we've got new tools that we can always play with. So I hope that helps. So promoting it, that you're going to handle that through, as I said, your content. And the next question is from Cara as well. So thanks again for your second question. How do you create more interest for signups when you use the new feature of called LinkedIn Company Pages newsletters? Now, I did a LinkedIn live pop-up on the other time zone just a couple of weeks back. I'm going to put the link to my YouTube channel where you can catch the replay for that Q1 updates. If you go back and have a look at that, I gave a really handy tip around when I think you should actually do your first newsletter. If you are a page just starting out, I wouldn't go hard on the newsletter straight away. It's another, I don't know, more content that you need to create. If you're only a solopreneur or small business and you don't have resources, you are going to feel overwhelmed. And what's the first thing that you're going to drop? See you later company page. Why? Because you don't get the engagement and the reach that you do over on your personal profile. So if you've got at least 500 followers, I think it's a good place to start. It really comes down to you're going to have to add a ton of value. As a company, you're normally a subject matter expert in your chosen field. So the kind of thing that I want you to think about is how can you share that? It has to be fun. Break it up with images every few, kind of paragraphs. Lots of interesting things within there, not just a big, long, solid text. So obviously things will just be too hard to read and no one's got time for that. So a catchy name that lets people know what your newsletter is about, a good description. They're quite short, so you've got to be smart around it, but make it obvious to people. That first one, make it count because you get a free kick. And what I mean by that is your first LinkedIn newsletter that goes out goes to every single page follower, 100%. It is one of the very few times where that algorithm of ours doesn't get in the way. It doesn't pick and choose who it goes to. After that, it will go to your subscribers. So that first newsletter, I can't stress how important it is that you make sure that you are onto a winner with that one. So don't be tight, don't be stingy, give people a taste of what to expect. LinkedIn are going to keep helping newsletters. They want company pages to drive thought leadership. And I speak more about that in the Q2 update. So please do. This is one of those times I say, head over to the Good Trading Co. YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe. So to Stuart, Viveka, Paulie, thank you so much for obviously joining into this conversation. I can see that there are so many questions, comments, all that kind of stuff coming through. So I do appreciate it. So this is one of those moments where I'm going to go, what's going on? So I don't miss your question somewhere in there. So we've got heaps of things coming through. So another question that I want to make sure that I answer was from Catherine. Good question. I really like this one. Are pages better or more suited to those that are in the B2B market? And this is a really interesting one. I love that she asked it. So thanks, Catherine. Are they more suitable? Well, LinkedIn is the number one B2B platform for marketers. So, in one hand, I would say absolutely yes. Does that mean it's not suitable for those that are B2C, so business to consumer? Now, I've worked with some page clients that actually are in that space, and we've been able to work it really well. I think often it can be used not so much to target your consumers because they may live over on other platforms, but it can be really good to add credibility if you're a business that relies on suppliers, that want is looking for distributors, if you're wanting to partner up with other people in other countries to get your product out of one geography into another. I think a company page just adds credibility that you're a real business. And so I think for everybody, regardless of who your end user, end customer is, I think it's important. Why? Someone Googles your business name, you've got a really great opportunity that your company page is going to end up in those first page of results. So, from that reason, what I'm going to say is everyone should have one. I'm biased. I get it. Like, let me know if you have a business to a B2C company page. Let me know if you've got one sitting over in LinkedIn land. So, we've got all kinds of things. So the newsletter, love it. One of the glitches that's there at the moment is I'm told that these will be indexed by Google. I can't see evidence for that. Now, I'm told that why that is it will take some time. On the flip side, they are doing work to make sure that it actually happens faster. So that's a cool thing. So imagine if you do a really well thought out newsletter, the added bonus, if someone searches for things on Google, it will pick up that detail. And Google loves a good, original, well thought out, informationally sound and backed up long form article. So, there's another advantage. I'll keep you updated when I see that that actually happens. And again, I'm working directly with the team to let them know, hey, this isn't happening. So, and I assure you once again that every time I'm raising these things with them, they are jumping just like that to try and make sure that these things are fixed for everybody. So, we have got a question here from Lena, the triple L. It's so cool to have you here. I appreciate you coming. Do I max out all of my 100 company invites every time? 100%, hands down, without a doubt. Why do I max them out? Fastest way to grow. When do I do them? As soon as LinkedIn gives them to me. And I send out reminders. So if you follow the Good Trading Co. company page, you'll get reminders from me to say, don't forget to do it. Here's why, Lena. What happens is I want as many people to see my content as possible or have access to it. As soon as I get my 100 invite credits, I send them all out. And I send them out in hope that obviously I'm targeting the right people and they accept those invites. When they accept them, I get another credit back again. How cool is that? So I send that one back out. And I do that throughout the month to make sure that we're actually all across that. Now, couple of things. As you do that, if you don't use them, you lose them. Now, people will tell you, don't use them because you can't customize the, message that goes out with them. And that's true, you can't. But it's different to over on your personal profile. If on your personal profile you don't customize it and everybody else is, then you stand out, like you don't care, you couldn't care less, you're not making an effort. If you come onto a company page, no one can customize it. So we're all in the same boat. No one expects you to customize it. Would it be great if it could? Oh, yeah, I'm putting my hands up. It's one of the recommendations that I will put to the pages team is to make sure that, give us the option. From that perspective, get them out fast, look for when people accept it, send them back out again, maximize those 100. And for those of you who may have joined the live late, employees now get a bonus 30 invites per month. So when you've got a team, get those people rowing the boat. The more people that you have rowing the boat, the better. So that's what I would say to that one, Lena. So a great question from Stuart here. So can you augment a blog and repost? And do you need to completely change it to avoid duplicate copy for bad SEO? Now, I don't know if John Asperian is still awake. I will go back. I was reading his website yesterday. Great, like heaps of advice. And if you haven't joined his espresso community, again, I highly recommend that as well. He has so much knowledge. He's actually written a complete blog article on why that doesn't actually matter to have both. So I will grab the link to that, Stuart, and be able to answer that more intelligently based on his knowledge. So again, if you're not following John Esperian, his espresso membership, from everything that I hear, is amazing. So if you want to know all the ins and outs of LinkedIn, I'm sure he can help you out with that. So I can see that I've also got Leah has joined us. I love it, love it, love it. So Leah, how do you choose who I target? Well, this is how I work mine. Start off close. Who are your current customers? Who are your close connections? Who has formerly worked with you or maybe working with you now? They're the people that like you. They're the people that love your business. They're the easiest people that you can get on board and most likely to engage. Then we start working it out. So one of my favorite filters that's on the invite filters is you can actually use the location filter. So if you only work in a particular geography, so it's just say I was only based in Sydney and I only want to deal with people in Sydney, I could use that. Now, here's the thing. Recently, LinkedIn made it really easy so that you can do these invites from your mobile phone. And so I love it. I'm a huge mobile phone user when it comes to LinkedIn. What I found was, though, when I went to choose the location filter, it was missing. So this is one of those things that I was a little bit sad, and I've put the request out there to see if we can get that added. So location is one of my favorites. By industry is my second filter that I always use. And the more smart you are around it, the higher the chance of the acceptance. And you're building a niche community of people. It's not a numbers game in this particular case, unless you're someone that services such a wide variety of people, then it doesn't matter so much. But start off close, work your way out. Now, I've got how many minutes? 3 minutes. Man, I can talk, right? It's my favorite subject. So thank you again for everyone that's joined us. I may go over a little bit. One of the things, huge thing that's changed on LinkedIn in the last week, even since I last did my update, you can comment as your company page within LinkedIn. And I was like, yes, because I've been using a plugin. There are workarounds that people have shared that you could do, but it was a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. It was a pain in the butt. So what's actually happened is there's now an option within LinkedIn that you can do this. Here's the kicker. Yes, big tick. It makes life easy. Like, honestly, you can switch between accounts if you've got multiple accounts. And I know, Lena, I think you asked that question yesterday. You can switch between multiple pages that you manage really easily and comment as each of them. The temptation is to go out there and put comments everywhere because it's so easy. The flip side, you put a comment out there, what's not going to happen is you're not going to get notified that somebody responds. What's going to happen if you put a great comment out there, someone goes, yeah, that sounds like you solved the problem that I have, and they want to do business with you, and they respond that way, please contact me, and you don't get notified. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to break that. Digital trust, gone, broken, never to be fixed again. That means what you have to do is create some kind of system that tracks where that you're putting your details out. That also means, for those of you out there that are going to get a bit too excited about it, don't go spam other people's accounts. Spam is spam. It doesn't matter how you do it, where you do it, why you do it. It's spam. So I don't want to see that. And I'll be calling out anybody that's spamming my stuff. I'm going to be calling you out because I don't want this to become a bad thing on the platform and give company pages a bad reputation. So I am going to police that. So just stay tuned, anyone that's in there. Do you need to babysit the comment, Viveka? Absolutely. Because as I said, if you miss it, oh man, you're just going to create worse than not commenting in the first place. So yeah, there's so much stuff. And, Lena and Viveka are, obviously vouching for John's espresso community. So that's very cool. So Stuart's just got a point here. Be careful when doing the invites. Yeah. The funny thing is there are lots of things on LinkedIn that if you just press, especially on mobile, you just miss the button by a little bit, like, especially when you're reaching out to connect with someone on your mobile, you press the wrong button, all of a sudden the invite goes out and you miss out on that opportunity. So there are so many, little buttons that are close together. Keep an eye on it. Put the effort into it. So comment as a company page newsletters, invites from employees that aren't page admins. We've got lots of things that are coming through for the second half in the paid space, which I don't get into LinkedIn advertising, but there's lots more cool features that they've got coming through, like A/B testing. They've got landing pages coming through in the second half of the year. So all in all I can say is lots more features coming, all about making them user friendly, wanting to help support you grow. If you don't know what you're doing on LinkedIn company pages and you would like to know, I've got page administrator training. If you want to know, if you're a business owner and you just are sick of being frustrated, hello, here I am. I would love to help you align your business goals with your LinkedIn strategy to be able to get you opportunities that from your ideal clients. So if you are out there, I am here to help. As much as I love doing these lives, I can't give you a tailored solution. So, which I would love to. Do I have one lucky last question that I can answer before we head off? Does anyone have one? And I will answer it. I appreciate everybody's support. Of course, if you haven't bought Business Gold, jump out there and do that. If you have bought it, on behalf of Linaire and I, we are really, really grateful. And so, yeah, these are those kind of things. So on that note, I think we're all done. I think we're done. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. It's been fun, and I will catch everybody later. Cheers.